Yes,
So,
you can see my changes appearing and appearing again. Is that right? Is that right?
so that's right. I didn't see your chair. It disappeared on your little too well, and I didn't see it.
Hello. Well, just look.
Hello.
I'm at the
So,
cafe again. You must be beaming somewhere else. Can say?
okay, so today, so refresh my memory. Last class, did we start talking about how debates are scored, or did we start, or were we still talking about teal paragraphs?
What did you said?
In our lesson on Monday, did we start talking about how debates are scored, or did we start talk, or were we still talking about our teal paragraphs?
You talk about two paragraph.
Okay, very good. So let me just check the Zalo group. Happyland. Happyland. Okay, so there was no homework officially set unless you still had to finish off your paragraphs. So how are we all going with the teal paragraphs that we were writing? How are we all going?
I'm okay with my paragraph, but it's quite short.
Ah, okay. So let's spend a little bit of time going over some of our paragraphs, and then we'll get started today after that on a little bit about how debates are scored. So who has some paragraphs written that they'd like to present for the class? Ben, do you have some paragraphs written to present?
I mean, what do you mean?
So the teal paragraphs that we've been writing recently, do we have?
Do you mean the 3 paragraphs?
Yes, the 3 paragraphs. Yes, that's right.
Oh.
So because in the Zalo group, I did write that for all there wasn't any formal homework to do.
Teacher, but did you see my paragraphs?
Yeah, yes, please. So yeah, just checking the Zalo group here. Debate Happyland. So yeah, so I did put, if I gave you feedback to improve your paragraphs, please take this time to edit your paragraphs and resubmit them. So hopefully everyone has had a little look at their paragraphs and made a couple of changes to them. So do we have anyone that would like to read them out? Okay. If not, I hope your paragraphs are as well written as I am imagining that they are. So in that case, let's move on today. And we're going to talk about understanding how debates are scored. So debates, I'm going to share my screen in a minute so we can see this document. I'm going to pin my Zoom call to the top so it doesn't go away. Okay. Share screen. Boom. So, the topic of today's class is understanding how debates are scored. So, debates are scored to determine winners and assess the quality of arguments presented. So, it's not necessarily who is actually most correct. It's actually about who presents their argument the best. So we're not just looking to go in guns blazing and be like, nah, they're wrong, I'm right, and that's the truth. No other arguments about it, nothing. Because that's not going to win. But if you can come up with a good enough argument and you can present it well enough, that's how you're going to win a debate. Yes, Lucia.
But
Nope.
how will we do that?
How do we do that? So the first step to doing that is to really practice writing your teal paragraphs. Because if we follow that structure, then we will really have a good chance of presenting a strong argument. And by next week, we will be talking about, we will be talking about how to present. So I'll teach you a little bit about basic body language. Oh, excuse me, I got the hiccups. A little bit about basic body language and a little bit about like how to speak as well, how to present your arguments, because we don't want to just talk
When
during a debate.
you teach us body language,
So it won't be super advanced stuff, but I'll teach you things like how to look confident when you present your debate, how to sound confident when you deliver your debate. So body language is really just, what is your body telling other people? So how you stand, whether you stand up nice and straight or whether you slump over like that all tells people. It can basically tell people what you're thinking, how you're feeling. Yeah, so it's important that we look confident in our argument and in our team, and it's important that we sound confident, because if we sound confident, people are more likely to believe us. But if we're really like a bit quiet and a bit slow like this, and I don't think you're going to believe what I'm saying when I'm stuttering and I'm talking slowly. It just doesn't convince people to believe what you're saying. But if you speak not necessarily happy, but if you speak, I suppose the best word for it is confidently, you know what you've got to say because you've practiced it enough, and you can look at the audience and you can speak to the audience and not just keep your head down in your note cards and be reading here like this. And so, yeah, basically, body language is pretty much how to make people believe you without saying anything, at least for debates. And it's actually, if you like it and you're interested in it, it's actually a very interesting subject. I've been studying it for a while now, and I think it's fascinating. So, understanding how debates are scored is essential for participants to improve their debating skills, because if we know what the judges are going to score us on and what gets us the best score, we know what we have to work towards. We know what skills we need to practice. So in this handout, We will explore the components of scoring, criteria, and I also have a homework task for you today. So I've got an example of a debate scoring card to go through to show you what the judges what the judges scorecard might look like. So the first thing we need to talk about is the components of scoring. So when debates are scored, there are several different things that you've done to prepare for this debate that are evaluated, that the judges are going to score you on. So the first one is content. So what you're actually saying to the judges, the information that you use. So the first thing they look for is the strength of your argument. So just how much sense do you make? So if you can convince the judges very easily, that means your argument is very strong. But if you have to keep coming back to it and you have to keep trying to justify your argument, justify your point of view, then maybe your argument's not as strong as it could be. So the next thing that they judge in content is use of evidence and examples. Now, this is the part that I think most people find quite difficult, is finding good evidence. So if we have good evidence from a trustworthy source, it's going to make our arguments a lot more believable. And finally, they look for logical reasoning. So just how much sense does our argument make? How good is the solution that we've come up with, essentially? Next is delivery. Delivery is important. So first of all, we look at our presentation skills. So are we using our hand gestures when we talk? Are we looking at people when we speak to them? Or are we just kind of sitting here staring off into the card, talking very, very, very plain and not changing our voice at all? Those are our presentation skills. And part of that is voice modulation or voice control. So am I speaking confidently? Am I speaking too loud? Am I being too quiet?
No.
So I was giving examples, not asking questions, but thank you for answering. But yeah, so even the tone of voice that we use, do we sound confident that we believe what we're saying? Do we sound like we're talking with a lot of attitude? Like, how are we talking? That's another very important thing. And back to body language. We mentioned this before. Are we standing up nice and straight when we present? Are we looking up at the audience? You know, does our face, are we smiling when we speak, or are we just kind of slumped over like this and look like we're not really interested? So that's body language. And by being conscious of that and working on it, you can change what people think about you. So that's a very powerful skill to use in a debate, to be able to use your body language to project your confidence. Our next section, the judges look at our rebuttals. So we've talked about our rebuttals before. Those are our counter arguments. So that's where we get to pick holes in our opponent's arguments. So if we can prove something they've said is wrong, or that what we've said is more correct, that's where we do it in the rebuttal section. So the first thing they look for is effective response to the opponent's argument. So how well are you addressing what your opponent has said? So are you coming up with something that proves their argument wrong? Or are you just coming up with something else that kind of makes another point for you, but doesn't disprove what they've said. So the better that you are able to find weaknesses in your opponent's arguments, the better you'll be scored for rebuttals. And as well, we have refutations too. So a refutation is slightly different to a counter argument. So a counter argument is like, well, this person has made this point, but I think that my point is more true. So for example, it could be the school uniform debate that we've had. Should school uniforms be mandatory? So a counter argument would be if one team said wearing school uniforms should not be mandatory because it takes away children's right to choose clothes that they wear. And trying to think of a good example. So yeah, it takes away the children's right to choose the clothes that they wear, and it doesn't allow students to display their individuality. A counter argument to that might be, well, school uniforms should in fact be mandatory because not all students can afford to buy the cool new clothes. So if everybody wears the same thing, then nobody can be picked on for the clothes that they're wearing. So that's a counter argument. Whereas a refutation is where you just prove what they've said wrong. You just completely prove what they've said wrong and not just offer a different point of view. So refutations can be quite powerful, counter arguments as well. And finally, we have teamwork. So teamwork will be judged. So we don't want just 3 people on the same team that have just gone off and done their own thing and come up with their own arguments. We want the teams to work together and talk. We want the teammates, to work with each other, talk to each other, and we want them to discuss which arguments they're going to make. So if you work together, you can actually become much better debaters than if you just work by yourself. And finally, do you support and build on each other's arguments? So if speaker 1 lays the groundwork and says, I think this, then when speaker 2 comes back and they have their reasons, if they can make their reasons kind of be a continuation of the first speaker's reasons, then you're just building stronger arguments and working better as a team. So those are some of the things that the judges look for in our debating, in our debates, what they're looking for and how they're going to score us. So I've got this example scorecard here. This is just one that I found on the internet. This isn't one that I've done up specially. This is just one that I found on the internet. So we see here at the top, so you would probably have 2 of these sheets, one for your pro team, one for your forgotten the words, one for your proposition and one for your opposition. So I'll just fill this one in. So debate topic. Should uniforms be mandatory? The date, 12/7/23, and let's do this one for the pro. So I might say my proposition team is Lucia, I might say it is chips.
Yes.
And I might say this
Hey.
is
What more?
LaRue. I'm just picking the first three names that I saw on the screen just so that I can show you how they would fill this out. So now we have here the debate topic, the date, what team you're on, and the team members. So now as you speak, whoop, undo that. So now as you speak, I would listen to you and I would judge you on these criteria here. So number one, viewpoints and responses are outlined both clearly and orderly. So it makes sense. So if I can, so Lucia steps up to speak first. I decide that Lucia did, for her organization and clarity, she did a 3. So right there. So speaker 1, Lucia, scored 3 in organization and clarity. Her use of arguments was very good, so she gets 4 for that. Use of examples and facts, she might need to work on that a little bit, so I'll give her a 2. Her use of rebuttal was excellent, so I'll give her a 1. And her presentation style was pretty good, and she was pretty convincing, so I'll give her a 4. And then Chips, and then so Chip steps up to speak next. So let's say she gets a 4 for organization and clarity. Her arguments could use some work. She was very good with her examples and her facts, however, so I'm going to give her a 4. Her rebuttal was pretty good, but she could have gone a bit harder. So I'll give her a 3. And her presentation style overall was pretty good. So I'll give her a 3. And then same thing for LaRue. He was pretty good, organization and clarity. I'm just making this all up, obviously. Use of arguments, it was mostly pretty good. He was great with his examples and facts. His rebuttals were mostly pretty good. And his style and presentation was super strong. So the judges will go through, give you all scores. Now these numbers are just which member of the team it was. So all the 1s are Lucia, all the 2s are Chips, and all the 3s are LaRue. So now we can go through and work this out. So 10 there. 2, 5, scored 9 there. Scored 10 there. 6, they scored 10 there. They scored 10 there. So, wow. So we see here that we've now added up each of the individual lines and we've been given a total score of 10, 19, 10, 19, 29, 39, 49. Should not have taken me that long to count. So we've got 49 there. And then to get your total score, we need to times 49 by 5 for some reason. So 50 times 5 is 250 minus 5 is... So your final score for this debate would be 245. And now it's up to the other team while they're arguing to get better scores than what you got. So does that make sense to everybody? Obviously, the winner is the team with the highest score.
Yes.
Terrific. So I'm going to send you guys one of these. I'm going to send you guys this score sheet in the Zalo group. And your homework for this class will be to find some debate videos on YouTube, and you're actually going to have a go at scoring. You're going to have a go at scoring people, score their debates. And you'll do it the same way that I did it here.
But who will we score?
You can pick whichever teams you would like to score. Just make sure that you make it very clear which debate you are watching.
Do we need to make like this?
Yeah, so instead of writing should uniforms be mandatory, in debate topic, just write the name of the YouTube video that you're going to score up there, just so that I can track it down and have a look and see your scores in comparison to the video. So yeah, so up here would be.
Do we need to write the name of the video and the topic?
So yeah, so correct. So write the name of the video and the topic. So if you write the name of the video, I'll be able to find it on YouTube to have a watch so I can see how you scored. So don't worry about the date. Just leave that one blank. And I want you to just evaluate one of the teams. So you can circle whether you're going to evaluate the pros or the cons, or the proposition or the opposition, and then just write down the team members' names like I showed you, and then score it like I showed you. Just put a number in each box depending on how you think they scored. Lucia, your elbows are going crazy right now.
It's like flying. It's like
I
he's
know.
really flying.
I know. If she flaps those wings much harder, she's going to take off and she's going to fly away.
Flap those wings, Lucia.
Lucia. Teacher, do you like
those
jokes?
wings.
I do like jokes.
Really funny jokes.
Although there are probably a lot of jokes
Flap
that I
the
know that
wings.
I wouldn't be allowed to tell you. So, but there are a lot of good jokes that I do like as well. So yeah, so
You can't tell it because it's live on YouTube on a channel, so everyone's watching it.
that's right. So back on topic though. So name of the video and the topic of the debate up top. Don't worry about the date. Pick which team you'd like to evaluate, and then write their names here. So, and then yeah, here, so just make sure that you score it the same way that I did. So as each team member speaks, you score them by writing their number in the level that you think they did. So it might be 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. However you think they've performed, just score them honestly. And I can't wait to have a look at that. So
we just need to write how good they did.
yeah, correct. And so I'll say this now. Don't worry about what you think I want you to mark them. mark them how you think they really did. So if you think they did good, mark them good. If you think they didn't do good, don't mark them good. And yeah, just mark them completely
So we
honestly.
just search the debate on YouTube and then we chose the proposition or the opposition team.
Yeah.
Correct.
Go
Yeah.
on YouTube.
Yeah, so you get to pick whether you want to score the opposition or the proposition. So
Why is
okay.
everyone quiet? Hey,
So
Teacher Michael, are you doing something?
yes, I was just looking for some good debate videos on YouTube. So if we or how to search for them.
Hey, that
So
would
if
take long as now.
Do
So
we
if
need
we-
to draw the exact like the debate scoring sheet?
no,
That's
so I'll send that to you in the Zalo group after class. So I'll send that straight to you so you can just
Actually,
use
I
that
think
copy.
that a scoring sheet you can only print it out. In the computer, you can't write it in.
This is true. Or actually, no, you can open it up in there are some websites that you can use, or you can just open it up into like Microsoft Paint, or there are programs that you can use to open it up and draw on it, and then you can just draw on it or put a text box on it and write the numbers. There are ways around it. But so when we go onto YouTube, we want to search up debate, competition, and then any keywords. So
Is there a debate competition in high school?
yeah, so some so in America at least, so we see there the top result is the high school debate championships.
Play the second one.
The NSDA World School Debate Final Round. So I can't actually play any of these videos for you on the screen because it's copyright and we'll get in trouble. But we can see there, Nationals, Lincoln Douglas Debate, Eurasian School Debating Championships, High School Debate Championships from last year. So we see this one here, New South Wales Premiers Debating Challenge 2019, Primary School State Debating Championships. So there are debates from all ages. So yeah, there are debates available from people of all ages, from young primary school kids to high school kids. We can even go as far as, excuse me, I think I'm coming down with a cold. But yeah, so we can have, what am I trying to say?
Have what?
So yeah, we can look at debates from any age category, but as well, just remember, make sure you understand what they're arguing about.
Cool.
And make sure that it is an appropriate topic for you to be listening to. So,
This question, Teacher Michael, where is your
But how do we search it?
Where did
I
I
mean,
on
which
there?
video should we watch?
Oop. All right, so what I'll do is straight after class, I'm going to go and have a look at a few of these debates. I'll just search through them briefly. And then after that, what we can do is I'll send you some suggestions in the chat box.
When is the end of the class? Get ready to be tongue twisted.
In about 20 minutes, Chips. Class is over in about 20 minutes. So
Does Chip want to tell joke?
No,
that's,
I want to tell tongue twisters.
oh, you've got some tongue twisters for us today. Okay, hang on. Let me just swap my headphones because one of them's starting to die. So Chips has got her sunglasses on and she's relaxing at a hotel. Okay, so
Not in a
what
hotel, it's outside a hotel.
at a hotel then?
Actually, it's a hotel at New Zealand, a 5-star hotel named Cornish.
Very nice.
I will go to my room.
This
This is my room.
Oh, that looks quite similar to Lucia's bedroom from before. If I didn't know any better, I'd say you were trying to trick us, Chips.
This is the buffet.
Yum.
Hey.
Love a good buffet.
Wanna
So-
go to the sweet corner? Wanna go
So-
to the sweet
You
corner?
can look at this too. You can look at this too.
She just teleport.
Are you guys both at the same buffet?
I sent it to her. I sent it to her.
Those photos.
Teacher,
Nice.
why is
Yeah.
Chip's hand disappearing when she touched behind her? I think it's a back.
And
Yeah,
Teacher,
it's something to do with the virtual video, with the virtual background.
Teacher.
Okay, hang on a sec.
Teacher mode.
Teacher,
Okay, yes, Chips.
wanna go to the sweet corner? Let's go.
Yo. Yum.
Yum, yes, I will meet you there and I will help you eat all of those yummy desserts.
Teacher,
And me too.
Can you get
Yes.
there?
Yes,
Can
Ben?
you really get there?
do you know that Chips has
Hey, Chips.
superpower?
Chips.
Chips has what
to our
power?
room. Let's go to our room.
Station. He just teleports somewhere outside, in the bedroom, in the dining room, and now the sweet corner.
That's right. Chips is
Teacher.
magic. She can teleport from different parts of the hotel.
Let's
Teacher,
go to our room.
teacher,
Yes.
Let's
my
go
room
to
is-
our room. Then it's my turn. Go straight to a hall, then turn left. Go into a door, then ta-da!
Oh my gosh. Okay, so what I'd like to do now is go over with you some of the different things that the judges might be looking for in our debating arguments. So the first thing we'll start with is components of the, so we'll start with the components of scoring and we'll talk about content. So what are some of the things in the content of your argument that the judges might be looking for and that will score you well? So,
We look the same. Almost look the same because hair and clothes are not. I got Chip's name.
oh my goodness, now we got
will
Chips in the
book my room
presidential
and
suite. Anyway,
I will go.
let's get back on topic now.
There's
So when we
two
talk
chips.
about, there's two, oh no, not two chips. So the first thing we're looking for is the strength of our argument. What do you think we're talking about when we say strength of argument? Who has an idea?
Time and voice.
So that will come down to delivery, which is the next topic we've got to talk about. But the strength of our argument is things like how much effort we put into our research. So if we put a lot of effort into our research and we find a lot of good information to use, then our argument will be nice and strong. So what are some other things that we could do for strength of argument? Or for our content? What's something we could do to make sure what we're saying is very, very good quality? We can ask ourselves, does it make sense? So does what we're saying make sense? Is it clear? And is it concise? Does it go right to the point? Or does it waffle on a bit? Okay, so the next thing to talk about is delivery. And I'm not talking about Uber Eats.
Teacher, I am
Yes.
at the presidential suite.
Oh my goodness, I can't wait to see what your presidential suite looks like, but I can't see the camera when I've got my whiteboard on at the moment. So I'll have a look when I come back to class shortly. So delivery, we had someone mention how we speak. Very good. So how we speak, do we sound confident or do we sound nervous? Do we sound excited or happy to be at the debate, or do we sound like we don't really care? Like, what is our voice telling the judges and the audience? Can anyone else think of an example for delivery? What else can we work on, or what else can we focus on?
Time.
Pardon?
No, I mean time. Time.
Oh, time. Sorry, I didn't hear what you said the first time. So, delivery. So we could say our time management. Very good, because we only get a set amount of time to talk. So if we can finish everything we've got to say before our time runs out, then that's very good. But obviously we need to find the balance there. So if you're given 3 minutes to talk and you manage to finish your speech in 1 minute, the judges are not going to mark that very highly, because it'll just look like you haven't done enough research.
What if you were given 3 minutes and you finish yours in 3 minutes?
So if you finish your speech in 3 minutes, then that's perfect. So you want to try and get as close to your time limit as possible without going over. So say 2 minutes and 58 seconds, 2 minutes, 59 seconds, perfect. 3 minutes and 1 second or 3 minutes and 2 seconds, not so good. You will lose points for talking over time. So very good point there, time management. What else can we focus on for delivery? What's another important part about our delivery? How we look, our body language. So do we look confident? Do we look nervous? Do we look scared? Do we look like we just don't care? So how we look can be very important as well. And we can take that the other way as well. How are we dressed? If we're going to a debate.
And also our body language.
Very good, our body language. But also how we look in the sense of how we are dressed. So if you and your debate team all go to the same school, then the best uniform to wear, the best outfit to wear for a school team debate would be your school uniforms, because you're all wearing the same thing, so you look like you're on the same team. You're not just wearing your favorite t-shirt and a pair of jeans or something like that, because then you just look like three people that are just sitting on the same side of a table. But if you wear your school uniform, then you're going to look like you're part of a team.
It will
So,
look
yeah.
like you're in that team, but not on the other team.
That's right, because we want the judges to know that this is our team and we wear our team uniform. So if we all look like part of a team, we're going to get marked better for that. As well, make sure that your hair is combed back, that is brushed back nicely. Maybe people with long hair put it into a ponytail, or girls put it into a ponytail or a bun or something like that. Guys, comb your hair back with a bit of hair gel or hair wax to keep it in place. And just look like really nice and professional. Make sure that your faces and your hands are clean. So we don't want any big dirty smudges on our cheek, no dirt or anything like that. We want to look clean, presentable, and respectful. And that will score us very well as well. All right. Let's have a look at section number 3. Rebuttals. So what are some of the things that the judges will look for when they're scoring us in our rebuttals? Anybody have an idea? I don't know why I just started singing, but that was fun.
It's funny.
Thank you. I'm glad you find my singing funny. So when we talk about rebuttals or making counter arguments against what our opponents have said, what are some of the things that the judges might look for?
I'm thinking.
Okay. Well, I'll write the first one down for you guys. Oop. Are you arguing the point? So if you are offering a rebuttal to an argument that your opponent has made, you need to make sure you need to make sure that you're arguing the point. So if you can find some statistics that just or some evidence that completely disproves what your opponent has said or the argument that they've made, then that's a good thing to do. You'll get scored well for that because it shows that you're doing your research, it shows that you know the topic well, and it shows that you haven't, for example, just copied a list of stuff off of ChatGPT and gone, here's my debate speech. You've actually put the effort in to learn about the subject and be able to refute the points that your opponents are making. What's something else that we could get scored for on rebuttals? Anybody have any ideas?
No.
No ideas. Okay. Give me a second and I will put
I'm
another one
thinking.
up on the board.
But I
Okay,
still
that's
haven't
good.
got any ideas.
That's
Teacher.
okay.
I
Yes.
have magic. I can change
have magic?
Lucia's names.
Teacher, where is Lucia? I can only see a dollhouse in her camera.
That's Lucia probably showing us
Teacher.
her dollhouse.
Teacher, I have magic to change Lucia's name.
Oh goodness, we're going to start this now, are we?
And first she changed my name to a builder.
Nice.
How could she do that, Mr. Archer?
I don't know. Maybe she really is magic.
He cannot be a magic son. He's too little. Or does she put a spell on the laptop?
Hang on a second. Yeah, Lucia's showing us the dollhouse that she's been working on. Okay, so
Here is my presidential suit.
very nice, Chips. You'll be able to throw some nice parties in that place.
Mom, who wants to use
You mean what party?
Who wants to use the dollhouse as a
That's what presidential suites are best for, throwing parties. That dollhouse is starting to look better and better, Lucia. So,
Yes, to look better because I couldn't find the kitchen table.
you couldn't.
I can see a chair there.
Here, this is the kitchen table.
Oh, nice.
Later, I'm just going to cut this.
It looks like you've done a little bit more work upstairs as well. That bed wasn't there on Monday, was it?
Yes, it
Was
wasn't
it?
built well. Ah, there's a pillow under it.
I can see
Ah.
a small little mini pillow.
Teacher,
And I have picture all around here at the house, of course.
teacher, I almost finished my flat house made out of paper and dried clay.
You have clay?
Yeah.
Hmm.
It can dry to make toys.
And anyone want to know why I make it?
No. What?
Anyone want to know why I make it?
No. Nuh-uh. I will send a tongue twister in the chat box.
What kind of thing in the chat box? When a doctor does the doctor doing the doctoring, doctor as the doctor being doctor, want to be doctor, or does the doctor doing the doctoring, doctor as he's wanting to doctor? What do you mean, Chips?
It's a tongue twister. Tongue twisted too. Are you tongue twisted?
No, I'm not. Now it's time for me to do some cutting.
Careful with that.
Go on, Teacher Michael. Go on, Teacher Michael. I will be listening now. Where's Teacher Michael? Where's he going? Okay, he must be writing.
Say he, not that she.
My teacher's table is squash. I got a joke about the table. Let me type in the chat.
How Lucia, have you got anything in your house like a blanket?
Yes.
Oh.
Okay, now I will send it to everyone. Who want to see the joke going to the chat box?
More tongue twisters.
I just make a joke. Why did the kitchen table want to get squashed? Because it doesn't
Go into the chat box.
Yeah, I'll set the answer inside the chat box again. Why does the kitchen table want to get squashed? Because they didn't like to get cooked.
Where's teacher?
While you're waiting, go into the chat box.
Come on. Let's go. Where's the signals?
What takes so long, teacher?
Now what?
What's taking so long?
Or anyone or someone to play a joke. Have anyone seen my joke? Have anyone seen my joke?
Where is the teacher?
That teacher, he's there. Because he
Oh.
may be busy now.
I didn't realize my microphone was on mute. I'm sorry, guys. So, all of these things that we've talked about today are things that the judges are going to score us on. So, if we work hard at developing all of these ideas and these skills, we're going to become really good debaters. Now, I'm going to post your homework in the group chat, including that scorecard for you to go and find debates to watch and score one of the teams. And other than that, I'll see you guys on Friday.
Bye-bye.
Bye, teacher.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Something.
Bye-bye.
Do you mean
Bye
teacher?
bye.
I got a question for
See
you.
us.
You have a question?
Your dollhouse.
Are you having another class? Are you having another
Not right now. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to message Miss Duke.
Hey, why cannot we? If we are out of the Zoom, can we enter it again?
So yes, I'm just going to get Miss Duke to make me host now, so I can turn off the live stream, and then I can leave the meeting open for you so you guys
No,
can play for a
thanks.
little bit if you'd like.
I'm leaving. I'm leaving.
Okay.
Ah, you're
I'm
leaving.
leaving. Goodbye.
Hey, Jeff, why are you leaving then? What
I
about
need to go home.
Emma?
Oh
Jenny?
yeah, Chips is at the
Bye.
cafe.
Chips
Goodbye.
is
Hi, Jenny. How to say?
is that a background?